I survived 100 days of hardcore Minecraft in a floating islands only world. This meant getting around was annoying, the land is limited, and falling into the void is extremely common. Want to see how I did it? Then stay until the end of the video to find out. And if you go on to enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. We're so close to 50k subscribers, so if we could get that in a week, it would be insane. And if this video gets 10,000 likes, I'll do 200 days in the same world. Enjoy the video. Day 1, I spawned on a very tiny island. Great start. I immediately started gathering wood as you do. I made a pickaxe and attempted to get some stone for my tools, but much to my dismay, this island was flatter than a pancake and had none. Using some dirt and wood, I built over to the mainland and took a bit of a fall. Ow. But at least I could make progress now. I made my stone tools and even got some coal. Now we were living the high life. I decided to explore a bit more to find a nice place to settle down. Along the way, harvesting more wood and avoiding the shadowy mob spawn zones. I killed some sheep for wool and continued on my way. Up the hill, I found my first bit of iron, not to mention a village. It was there that I noticed a perfect little island just down from the village. I just knew that I had to make that my home. It was calling to me, but it was getting dark, so I made a bed and slept for the night. Day 2, I got a bit more wood and got myself an iron pickaxe and bucket. I went to go explore the village, but stopped to mine some coal and even some lapis. In the village, I introduced myself to all the residents. I can't tell if they liked me or not. This guy 100% didn't. I thought about killing him, but instead got the gold I saw by him and spared his life. For now. I went to that little spot I had scouted out. It was just too perfect not to use. I cleared out the area and once again slept through the night. Day 3, I continued to clear out the area before spawning a diamond. Oh yeah, that was mine. But I had to make a shelter before that. I was feeling an underground vibe for this one, so I made some ladders, made the entrance, and dug it out. Finally filling it out with amenities. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Humble beginnings, as it were. After feeling satisfied with the starting base, it was time to go get those diamonds. I dug my way over only to be met with a singular diamond. I'm filled with immeasurable sadness and my day is ruined. But hey, I made all my iron tools and even a helmet, so it wasn't all that bad. Day 4, I was sick of getting up and down here, so I built a staircase. Nothing too fancy yet, just some simple accessibility. I did some mining with no luck, but then saw more diamonds. Target spotted. But first, I finally changed my mind about the Iron Golem's life privileges. I'd find out later that this would have terrible consequences. But who cares? Free iron! I bridged and watered to the new island and got those diamonds. I tried to find more, but my luck wasn't great. I ran home and huddled in my base from the mobs. A creeper dropped in to explode and a skeleton came, bringing me down to 1 heart. I got no sleep that night. I spent it huddling just trying to survive. Day 5, after my near-death experience, I learned from my mistakes and decided to make a shield. I did some mining and then searched for lava to see if I can make a portal. I did see some, but I couldn't find it, so I quickly gave up. I found some diamonds and accidentally got into a fight with some wolves, but I ended up taming one of them. I named him Ghost, because I'm still not over how badly Game of Thrones ended. Day 6 was a pretty chill day. I made a diamond sword and axe. Then I went on to create a wheat farm. I was starving constantly, and that was not fun. I ended the day off by finally making full iron armor, because you always should wear protection. Day 7, I decided to do a bit of exploration, coming across yet another village. I searched through the town, and I then went to mine for some stone, iron, and potentially diamonds. Day 8, I continued exploring. I spotted even more diamonds that were mine for the taking. Then I went home and made a group of furnaces to smelt my cobblestone that I wanted to use to make stone bricks. And then I ended my day by getting some wood. Day 9, I was sick of jumping up these steps, so I made some actual stairs to glide me up and down the hill, making going and coming back much more convenient. Then using the stone bricks, I started to build a wall outside my island's edges. I didn't have enough to finish it today, so I did some mining to get more cobble. Any additional resources were always a nice bonus. Day 10, I put all my cobble in the furnaces to smelt, and while I was cooking, I went to do more exploring. I checked out the jungle to get some bamboo, journeyed some more, and then I spotted an abandoned portal. I was about to go down to it, but there was a lot of monsters around, so I slept through the night before such a dangerous expedition. Day 11, I made my way down with a water bucket, but before I even had a chance to loot anything, I got jump-scared by an enderman. Oh my god. Oh my god. I forgot this was a horror game after all. I got some decent loot from the chest and mined all the obsidian I could for a portal, as well as all the gold blocks because I wanted to become rich. I went home, finished up the wall, and lit the area up. Things were beginning to take shape. Day 12 to 13 was our first steps into the Nether, making the portal and stepping in to explore and find a fortress. I tried many different directions with no such luck, but one did lead to a bastion. I went in to loot it and our luck was amazing, mainly because we found a fortune-free diamond pickaxe, and as well as a single ancient debris. But hey, I guess that would save us a bit of time. And of course, we found this absolute banger that is Pig Step. Overall, I'd say this was a good haul. Day 14, I scouted to see if I could find any diamonds, but with no such luck. I went and made myself an anvil. After that, I decided to go test out this new fortune-free pickaxe, finding some diamonds as the perfect lab rats. I found 2 and got 3. It could be better, but I'll take it. I spent the rest of the day looking for more, but had no such luck, so I slept off my disappointment. Day 15, I continued my search and found even more diamonds. This time I mined 4 and got 10 out of it. This was a much better ratio. I saw a pig end its own life, found some more diamonds. Today was far luckier. I just kept on finding surprise diamonds. By the time I got home, it was day 16 and I began the day in the most amazing way by making full diamond armor. We were finally becoming strong. I did another bit of nether searching but quickly gave up for now. I then went to fix up the other part of the hill that I had neglected, getting rid of all the clutter and extending the stairs to go all the way up. It took a bit of fidgeting, but I eventually got it to a point I liked. Day 17 to 18 was spent entirely in the nether searching. It's not that I went super far, but the land wasn't exactly the easiest to navigate around here. Eventually, by the end of the day, I finally came across a nether fortress. About time. I debated entering from the bridge, but there were a lot of mobs there, so I decided to dig my way inside. This worked out better than expected, as I found a blaze spawner very quickly. So for the rest of day 18, I grinded blaze rods to a point that I thought I had enough, at least for now, and made my way home. Days 19 to 21 was dedicated entirely to remodeling a lot of our base and fixing up some things. To start, I added stone brick to the wooden stairs, which was a nice addition that elevated these basic stairs to something that had style and class. I flattened the ground completely, making it so our whole area was nicely leveled. No bumps or imperfections to be found here. Then I dug out our bunker to make a lot more room, filled in the floor with smooth stone. No more tiny room for this guy. We had so much more room for activities now. Day 22, I essentially spent the entire day harvesting wood for our base. Remodeling isn't cheap, and I would need these resources to bring my project to life. I also made a little balcony area halfway up the stairs that I thought looked pretty nice. Day 23, I made final touches to our base by filling in the walls and roof with wood, even adding in some log accents just to add a bit of depth to the place. I then added slabs to add a bit more depth and complexity. It wasn't the best, but it was better than nothing. This wouldn't be the last time I completely redid my house, but for now, I was content. Day 24, I forgot to record going there because I was distracted with Twitter. Go follow me at King of Kazoos. But I went back to the fortress to loot the chests and to see what I could find. Just your basics, some iron, gold, horse armor, and even some diamonds. Decent enough. I then spotted the phase logo, which made me want to 360 no-scope something, but I held back the temptation. Day 25 to 26, I spent exploring the world. I finally found some sand after thinking it wasn't in the game for a while. I got my first ender pearl ready for the dragon because I wanted an elytra pretty early to get around these islands easier. I went a bit further before heading back on day 26. Not the most productive of journeys, but glass was glass, I suppose. Day 27, I went into the nether and traded all my gold with piglins to see what I could get. There wasn't much good stuff I got besides ender pearls, which would help us get to the dragon even faster, of course. I got out and managed to make 5 ender eyes. A great start. I even threw one to see the stronghold's direction. Now I had a rough idea of where to go and began heading that way before sleeping through the night. And at the crack of dawn on day 28, we marched towards that infamous stronghold. I crossed mountains, perilous mob areas, and I even collected more ender pearls for eyes on the way there, before eventually spotting that iconic stronghold. It was hard to miss when it's not concealed by the lack of ground. Day 29 to 31, we made our way down into the stronghold. First things first, I went into the portal room and filled that bad boy up. At least as much as I could. Wait, one away. Okay. So seeing as we weren't going to the end anytime soon, and I wanted to prepare a bit more before that anyways, I decided to loot both libraries for books, enchantments, and paper, as well as see what chests I could grab while down there before heading back home. The journey back ate up most of day 31, but as soon as I got back, I wasted no time making my enchantment table and bookshelves. Finally, knowledge was achieved. Day 32, I got a fresh pickaxe and sword to enchant. The pickaxe turned out with Unbreaking 3 and Efficiency 4. The sword only had Unbreaking 3 and Smite 5, 35. Not great, not terrible. I then merged this new pickaxe with my Fortune 3 one to create what I named Miney McMineface. Original, I know. I then went to dig out the area a bit more just to make the staircase less claustrophobic. And I went and got that final ender pearl I would need for the portal. Also, a creeper almost killed Ghost, so this could have easily been the worst day ever. I guess the god of Minecraft was looking out for us. That god being Phil's of Minecraft. Day 33, I wanted to get mending, so I went up to the village to discover that they had all been slaughtered. Not just the men, but the women and children too. This was the consequences of me killing that iron golem. But hey, this is why you always keep a spare village. Those guys were also dead. Except one, who I used to quickly get mending. But now I needed some way to get emeralds. But with no other villagers around, that seemed pretty impossible. Okay, never mind, there's one exactly right here. On day 34, I went back to get some flint for a Fletcher's table, but got distracted halfway and decided to build a sheep farm, just for later use, as we would probably need this to get some beds while Netherite farming. I also harvested all the wheat in the village because, as always, I was constantly starving. Day 35, I decided to make use of that sand and make a brand new room in the base that would have a lovely window view and let in some natural light. I mean, hey guys, what can I say? Maybe in a few years I can triple the price of this property. Think real estate, folks. I used chunky glass at first, but I didn't like it and replaced it with panes for that lovely depth. Day 26, I made myself a Fletcher table and went back to force this villager into a dead-end job. I traded plenty of sticks until I had all the emeralds he would give me. I then go and get mending, only to find it was gone. So I had to get it back, which actually didn't take too long. Good luck, I guess. I journeyed home, topped up the sheep farm on the way, and finally put mending onto Miney McMineface. Day 37 to 38, I was heading out to go XP grind all day when I heard that familiar It was a lone survivor! A miracle, it would appear. I trapped him in and then spent the entirety of the rest of the day grinding mob hotspots to get some XP, taking us up to a good level 35, which would be enough for the things I wanted to enchant. Day 39, I enchanted a bow that had power 4 and punch 2. Pretty good, but I still wanted infinity on it. I also enchanted a brand new sword that had sharpness 3. Still not amazing, but it was a start. I combined both swords together and named it Sharp Boy. I then went to the villager, eventually making them a librarian that would sell me infinity. So I went to harvest more wood and trade all the sticks once again for emeralds. Capitalism in full effect. On my way back at night, a zombie villager was in my yard, so I trapped him in hopes I could find a cure. Day 40, I aimed to heal the zombie villager, but at the time I didn't have the materials to do so I left him be and figured I would heal him later. I had to get more emeralds, so I harvested even more wood and traded with the Fletcher some more. At home, I let Ghost do some fighting and made the horrifying discovery that our villager zombie had turned all the way. He was now just a boring zombie. I figured the humane thing to do was to put him down. It's alright. This is for the best. Day 41, I went to buy the Infinity Book, but of course it was gone again. So I spent all day trying to get it back. Guess this was my karma for letting that zombie villager down. Until I finally got it and put it onto my bow, naming it Dragon Slayer. A fitting name for what I planned to do with this bow. Day 42 to 45 was originally only going to be a short journey to get some XP while waiting for my farm to grow. But at some point it turned into a long mission to gather materials and ore XP. But hey, at least I found some diamonds. Worth it. Day 46, I made the final preparations for the dragon fight. Weapons? Check. Food? Check. Courage? No. Yeah, check. Seeing as I had everything, I bid farewell to Ghost just in case this was the last time I saw him, and made my way to the stronghold. Finally getting there by the end of the night. I filled in the final slot of the portal and stared into its void for a brief moment, before deciding to get a good night's sleep before heading into this fight. Day 47, it was time. The dragon was going down, and I was getting my elytra, whether they liked it or not. Dragon Slayer pretty much carried this entire fight. The name was not misplaced, and we finally beat the dragon. Even get a fat stack of 70 XP. I forgot a piston for the egg, so I'd have to come back for that. But I wasn't going home just yet. I wasted no time and built my way into the outer islands of the end to begin my search for the elytra. Day 48, we actually spawned right next to an end city, but it had no airship. I tried to loot it, getting some decent stuff here and there, but shulkers were annoying and I forgot to get chorus fruits, so I left, grabbed some, and continued on my journey. Day 49 was spent entirely traversing these islands, bridging around, which is something I was getting really sick of. But hopefully that would soon be over once I got my flying boyo. By the end of the day, I finally found another city, still with no airship. God damn it. Day 50, I tried to loot the city, but again was bombarded by shulkers. No thank you. So I decided to continue onwards once again, eventually finding another city, still with no airship. This game really hates me, doesn't it? I got good loot though, so it wasn't all bad. Day 51 was the most uneventful day of all these 100 days. I journeyed for the entirety of it to find nothing. Day 52, however, was the complete opposite. We found not only one, but two end cities right next to each other, both with ships. I didn't need two elytras, but as if I was going to refuse two of them. I looted the first ship, got myself some good armor, and of course, that fabled elytra. I equipped that bad boy and flew over to the other ship. Some more great loot and a second elytra. Guess a backup is always nice to have. Day 53 to 54, I spent journeying home. It took us a while to find these end ships, so of course it was going to take us a long time to get home. Thankfully, building up and gliding across with my elytra made this journey a little less long, and also a bit more fun. And then we finally made it back, and I hopped through the portal a changed man. Day 55, I headed back home. Ghost was waiting for me just where I left him. Good boy. I stored away the loot and decided to celebrate by listening to Pig Step. Absolute banger. Then I made some fireworks and celebrated even further by flying around freely. At last, I was no longer tethered to the ground. I was free. But the celebration was short-lived, because now I had to start preparing to fight the Wither on day 100. Day 56, I spent all day searching for sugarcane to fund my expensive elytra usage. But I just couldn't find any for the whole day, to the point where my elytra almost broke. So I gave up for the day. Day 57, I continued my search for sugarcane, even getting to the point where I had to combine elytras. So I decided I should probably get mending. So I did the usual Fletcher trading for emeralds, bought the mending book, and finally got my elytra that beautiful enchantment. Day 58, I went to grind some XP, fixing up my elytra so I could go continuing my search for sugarcane. After what felt like hours, it was nighttime. I had lost hope, until finally, I spotted two fully grown sugarcanes right next to a small pond. It wasn't much, but I could finally start a farm. Day 59, I made said sugarcane farm and waited for it to grow. In the meantime, I boosted my sheep farm and began harvesting their precious wool, because it was soon time to hunt for some netherite. Making myself as many beds as possible and enchanting all my armor until I was more or less happy with every piece barring my helmet. Day 60 to 61, I put mending onto my sword and finally made my way into the nether to become the strongest of boys. For a while, I did the bed strategy, but it was slow and I barely found any ancient debris from doing this. So realizing my pickaxe cut through netherrack like butter, I began to plow for everything searching for it, which worked out a lot quicker. I actually ended day 61 with a total of 15 ancient debris. Not a bad haul. This would continue on into day 62 and 63, where I'd continue mining. This method was pretty perfect, because even if my pickaxe got low, since it had mending, all I had to do was mine some nether quartz, and it was good as new. By the end of this mining adventure on day 63, I had a grand total of 23 ancient debris. More than enough for my armor and a few tools. Day 64, I smelted all those debris, got all my gold, and made all the netherite ingots I could, which was 6, the amount I actually wanted. With this, I got a smithing table and upgraded my pickaxe, my sword, and every single piece of armor that I had, except for the helmet. I made myself a grindstone and basically disenchanted all the armor I had and wasn't planning on using, for the levels, and also because now I didn't need to make a new helmet. But even after all of this, I still wasn't able to get a good helmet that I was happy with. On the bright side, I managed to get a sharpness 4 book, which I'd save for later. For now, the helmet remains diamond. Day 65, I forgot to record half the day because I am stupid. But there wasn't much to show. We had just been grinding XP, ready and try and get a good helmet. So thankfully, not a huge loss. Day 66, I finally got a helmet with protection free, which was pretty good. So I finally upgraded that sucker to Netherite, granting us that beautiful achievement. We were stacked. I spent the rest of the day trading with the Fletcher, buying a mending book specifically for my bow, only to realize you can't put mending on an infinity bow. I went to bed mad that day. Day 67 to 68, I went back to the Nether in order to get some materials for potion making. The Wither was hard, so I figured I'd make it a little bit easier with some good old-fashioned brewery. I spent more or less all of day 67 farming blaze rods. I killed any Wither skeletons I saw and actually ended up getting my first Wither skull. That was pretty lucky. I then grabbed some Netherwort and flew home. Day 69, nice. I made myself a small Netherwort farm before taking a short trip to go and get some more sand for bottles. I filled those suckers up and began brewing, making myself 3 strength 2 potions to become strong. I then extended the sugarcane farm to make my firework output even greater. Day 70, I continued brewing and made myself some regeneration potions. My potion collection was getting rather large now. After that, I basically farmed wood for the entire day, mainly to get apples to get some golden apples. Sadly, I only got 5 apples from this. We could probably use a few more than that, but the wood would come in handy regardless. Day 71, I decided to explore a few mine shafts as I had realized I hadn't done that yet. Unfortunately, they didn't seem to actually have any chests, so I instead opted to mine cobble for the rest of the day, because I had a big project in mind. Day 72 to 80, yeah, I wasn't lying, this was a big project. Project Revamp Our Boring Base. I started by digging out the entire underground section, making it a little deeper but a whole lot wider. Realizing I wanted spruce planks for the floorboards, I went to a snow biome not too far away and harvested some. I then proceeded to fill out the floor with them. Step 1 complete. Although I went and grabbed a few more logs just to be safe. I started adding log accents all around the base to add a bit more depth and make it a little less boring, making each one hold a glowstone lantern. I also dug out a small hallway that would eventually lead to my new nether portal. After that, I started to fill in some of the wall with stone bricks and finish off the log accents. I then made a little workstation, which I was kind of happy with, but not 100%. So I instead opted to move it completely to a different spot, adding some stone walls that I think made it look a lot nicer. I dug out 2 spots that would be used for chest storage before taking a quick trip to the nether for more glowstone. Afterwards, I made a little brewing area and repair section. I won't lie, I did look at a few videos of builds similar to this for some inspiration, but I feel like I put my own spin on it here and there, enough to make it my own. A majority of the walls had been filled in with stone brick and the house began to take shape. I also moved my enchantment table into the center, making for a nice focus. I filled in the roof with stone brick and started to flesh out the nether hall a bit. I then took a quick break to go and extend the farm a lot. We were no longer going to be starving, that's for sure. Another quick trip to go get more spruce logs, building the actual nether portal and filling in the walls with stone brick. Digging out 2 spots that I eventually put some armor stands in for, you know, some classy decoration. I then made a much cleaner entrance that was severely lacking for such a well-esteemed environment. Then probably one of the most time-consuming things I've done is reorganize all my chests, so I could easily find whatever it was I was searching for, but my lack of confusion will be worth it. I then made an area for my bed, finalized a few things, and finally the base was looking amazing. But not amazing enough. On day 81, I added stairs to the edges of the roof, which I felt made a really nice effect that made the base that much better. Then I extended the sugarcane farm and called it a day. Day 82, I went grinding mainly for gunpowder, but getting more XP was always valid. I then got home and made myself some splash health potions. These would heal me and damage the Wither if he got too close. I then did more grinding to finish off the day. Day 83 to 85, I went to the Nether and spent the entire time killing Wither skeletons. I had no Wither skull drops for a good while. The odds were slim after all, and I was prepared for that. But after 2 days spent grinding, on day 85, I killed 2 Wither skeletons and they both dropped skulls at the same time. What the hell? Oh my god. Alright, nice. I now had 3 skulls ready to slay the Wither. Day 86, I finally made my sword sharpness 5. Not sure why I didn't do this sooner. I tried to get more apples, but I had no luck. Like, really, no apples dropped. Although I found out that oak trees can only drop them, so that was just me being dumb, I guess. To make up for it, I went and collected the hay bales that I forgot from the other village. I wasn't going hungry for a long time. I also discovered the villager at our base had died. Rest in peace. Fly high. I lit up the staircase in his memory. Day 87, I spent XP grinding because I figured getting a smite sword may be good, but I lacked the patience to keep on doing this. But by the end of the day, I had a much better idea. Day 88 to 90, I made a piston and went back to the end. I got the dragon egg finally before heading back into the outer end to search for more end cities. During these days, I'd fly to countless cities collecting all the loot they had, gaining all sorts of armor, weapons, materials, you name it. Basically, lots of good old loot. And by day 90, I had returned. Days 91 to 93, I took a look at my loot haul, and after asking a few friends, doing a bit of research, I realized that my current armor was perfectly fine. So instead of messing around with all of that anymore, I went back to the Nether to get some more netherite. By the end of day 93, I only had a measly 9, but it was more than enough to upgrade my shovel and axe. Finally, a full set of netherite tools. Oh, you don't count. Day 94, I was still too impatient to grind XP, so I got yet another genius idea. I went to the Nether to grind some gas tiers very quickly and got home to craft myself 4 end crystals. See where I'm going with this? Day 95, I went back to the stronghold, stopping for some gunpowder along the way, but I hopped back through that portal, placed the crystals, and summoned the dragon one last time to give him yet another thrashing. The fight was so much easier now that I had the elytra and netherite, making very quick work of them. But they hardly dropped any XP this time. Guess they didn't have enough stamina. Day 96, even though I didn't get many XP levels, I sure as hell wasn't gonna waste them. I enchanted my helmet with mending as it was getting pretty damn low, and I used the remainder to repair my bow Dragon Slayer to its full potential. I then flew over to find an island that was thick enough to build a wither fighting room. Nothing too fancy, just a place to keep him enclosed in. And of course, I did more deforestation to try and get more apples. Day 97, I put those apples to use and made the golden standard of 10. That should do it. I decided to display the head and egg of the dragon next to my bed, but in my haste, I accidentally right-clicked the egg and it teleported away. I searched for a very long time, like all day, but alas, it was gone. I almost ended it all, but then I remembered I had a wither to fight. This was no time to die. Day 98, I took my mind off things by building a bridge from island to island. Something I, for some reason, wanted to do from the very start. It just felt pointless with my elytra, but screw it. It's not the best, but if I make a 200 days video, I'll improve on it. I also cleared out a lot of the village. I would have done it all, but my shovel was close to breaking. I could have repaired it, but honestly, I didn't have enough time, so I just left it for now. Day 99 was the day before tomorrow. This was the day I basically had nothing to do. I triple checked I was fully prepared for the fight tomorrow, and I was. So I intended to spend my potential last day fully relaxed. I flew about on my elytra, doing some sick tricks, and then I took Ghost on a walk. I felt I may have neglected him a bit during these 100 days, and by the end of the day, I finally took him inside into the warmth. Better late than never, I suppose. And then I went to bed, waking up for day 100. This was the day. The only day where I started knowing exactly what I was going to do. I cleared my inventory out, got everything I would have needed, said goodbye to Ghost just in case I didn't come back. I took a last look at everything I had built before taking the plunge and flying over to the arena. Ow! I stared at the soul sand for a while. I was hesitating. I was afraid. But even still, I drank my potions and quickly placed the skulls, only to mess one up. So I replaced it as fast as I could, and we were ready to brawl. Closer than I had hoped. He did a lot of damage to me, but we had done it. I won. Man, I wonder how he did so much damage to me though. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, I didn't even have my chest plate on, but it's fine because we did it anyways. I returned home and watched the sunset with Ghost. A perfect ending to these perfect 100 days.